Okay, everybody. I think I'm live. I hope I'm live. I'm not really sure quite what I'm doing. This is my first time. So if everyone can just bear with me, if anybody's there. I'm just gonna work out. Do I put this on? Or not? Hi, Baron. Hiya. As I just said, this is my first time, so everyone's going to have to bear with me. I've got quite a few things I want to go through. So if everyone can just give me a few minutes to get set up, I shall begin. I've got my daughter involved with me. I don't really know what I'm doing. Can you believe I had to get a 15-year-old to help me set all this up? But I am almost there. And oopsie. Okay. I am on there now. Hi, Cool Pics. Hi, Tom. Thanks for coming over. As I was just saying, this is my first time, so I'm just getting myself set up. I've got my drink, I've got my cigarettes, and a list of notes here that I've made. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody see me so far? I think I may just turn this off in the background. It's making too much light. Okay. All right. Hi, Chris. Hi. Can everybody hear me? Am I coming through okay? I have no idea because I can only hear myself talking in real life. Yeah? Okay. So while I'm just getting started, I am just going to go through reasons why I have decided to do a live stream this evening. I've decided to do a live stream this evening, being awake now for a few years. I watch a lot of Hangouts myself. In most of my spare time, I don't read books. I seek truth. I watch videos every day, every evening. I read books. I'm very aware as I go through my life. I've come to the conclusion that it's going to take more people like ourselves who are prepared to come out of the shadows, put a face to a name, and to bear truth on our arms and come out of the closet, so to speak, and say, here I am. This is what I believe. You don't have to agree with me. I do feel a sense of solace from being around like-minded people that are not asleep. And yeah, there needs to be more people like myself, Jamie, a good few more, Mel, Del, the flat smacking guy, is it Flat Earth Foca or something like that? Like I call those kind of people Operation Realness, that aren't doing it with any kind of hidden agenda. They are doing it purely just to spread awareness, purely to tell people exactly like I am that this is how they feel. Does anyone else feel like that? Does anyone else see these things? Is it just me? Because until I found that there was a community of people to a degree, I felt like I was on my own. At one point, I felt like I was losing my marbles. You know, no one else around me was thinking the same things, was seeing things as I was seeing them, with the kind of rose-tinted glasses off, so to speak. So that is pretty much why I'm here this evening. I wanted to bear my truth, to tell you about my journey of awakening, to tell you about how I got here and where I want to go from here and what I want to find out and why I want to find out these things. So up until this point, all I can say is thank you to anyone that's come here. I didn't really think anyone was going to come. I did this on the spur of the moment. I had no idea when I woke up this morning. This is what I'd be doing this evening. So yeah, I greatly appreciate all of you that have come over. And thank you very much to Jamie, Skyfly, to everyone that gave me a shout out and pointed everyone in my general direction. Yeah, so there's a few things that I wanted to talk about this evening, mainly being the globe deception. I have noticed, and I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but I have noticed that a lot of these kind of bigger, I won't name any names because I don't want to trash people, but the kind of bigger, more, shall we say, donative hangouts that seem to be like a bit more kind of structured, like a kind of rip-off version of This Morning with Holly and Phil kind of thing. I feel like that is kind of exploiting the mission of truth seeking. I feel that to a certain extent, channels like that, they try to, in their own kind of subversive way, try and mock the movement. I much prefer to see Operation Realness people that are just giving it to you live and direct. They're just having very raw, real, unedited, kind of non-scripted conversations. And yeah, that's really what I'm here to do, have those same kind of non-scripted, raw conversations. Because I'll be honest with you, with Del, with Merle, with Jamie, the amount of times I have watched those hangouts and off the back of those hangouts had a million more thoughts than I had before I went into those hangouts. They've made me question things that I wasn't questioning before. Even when I think I'm awake, I'm still learning every day. And not maybe from direct information, but something that someone has said in a hangout, a conversation that's happened has spurred me on to think something else. And then I've connected more dots elsewhere. And as a result, I've become more aware. And so I feed that into my daily awareness spreading. So I feel that these hangouts are good. They're productive as long as they're real and they're genuine. I think the activism is a great idea. I think get out there onto the streets with publications, leaflets, clerical information that people can hold tangibly in their hands. I think that's a wonderful idea. I think underneath all of that, every day that awareness can get spread, every single interaction you have as a human being, you can spread the awareness. You don't have to be there for the instant clarification or gratification of seeing someone become enlightened or awakened. Most probably, you're going to give a snippet of saying, research flat Earth, and maybe they will, maybe they won't. But if you repeat that day in, day out, in every single interaction you have, and you do that without any kind of thoughts of you physically seeing that person go, oh, okay, yeah, bang, I'm gonna go and research that. The realism of it is that's actually not gonna happen. The realism of it is even if you spend 2-3 hours talking to someone, the penny is not going to drop right there and then. Because the truth be told, did it drop like that with you? Did it take you 2-3 hours to kind of go from, I don't believe we live on a flat earth to, I believe we live on a flat earth? Because for me, it was months. It was like, oh gosh, like 5, 6, 7, 8 months of like slowly but surely slugging through the information, going back and forth, trying to find proof that I lived on a globe, ridiculously trying. Like I remember the first time I saw a flat earth video, it was Russian vids. And I remember saying to myself, okay, that all sounded good in theory, but nah, that's bullshit. Let me go and find out for myself. Of course I'm going to find the video of the globe. Of course I'm going to find. What kind of ridiculousness is this? I'm going to find a video of it spinning on its axis, and I'm going to go, yeah, bang, that's where I live. Well, I was greatly disappointed. Within about 20 seconds, I knew it was all bullshit. It looked like Star Wars images. I said to myself, please don't make me think this is how I've been deceived. Please don't let me think within 2 seconds of good discernment and actually looking through those images without rose-tinted glasses on, without the indoctrination that I've had since I was a child, since I was a baby, being told by my parents the tooth fairy was going to come and take my teeth and give me money, being told by my parents to write a letter to Santa, and then my dad probably eating biscuits and drinking milk, and then a load of presents under the tree from some guy that comes down and gives little kids presents. Doesn't that sound a bit like, when you look at it like that, you say to yourself, rah, look, it went on before I went to school, you know? And the first thing that happens when you go to school is you walk into a classroom and the teacher walks you up to a globe and goes, look, this is where we live, look, and spins it on its axis. And I remember looking down at the bottom thinking, but that metal bit that goes in the bottom, who lives down there and why is it covered up? But as usual, the teacher was like, move on. Anytime I questioned it, they said, obviously, people would fall off the edge. So it was always there. The indoctrination of lies was there from the get-go. So yeah, that's kind of somewhat a little bit of how I've got to where I am now. Where I am now, I would call myself a flat earth basher. There's not one day I can go past without drilling on my partner. I chewed his ears off a long time ago. Like, he had to just submit and do, okay, babe, the earth's flat, it's fine, like, it's okay. Like, he still slightly rolls his eyes when I can't help it. Every time something's on TV and I see a horizon in the background, I'm like, flat earth, like, flat earth. I do. Me and my daughter were constantly like making silly eyes at each other when things happen, and we see it. We see it when we watch the news. I'm sorry if I'm going off piste a little bit, but we see it when we watch the news. The amount of times we watch the news. I don't know if anyone else saw this video. I'm going back a couple of years. And do you know what? It might have even been Russian vids that uploaded the video. Let me think when it was. Maybe 2016, late 2016. I remember because I showed it to a ton of my friends. This video showed somewhere in Syria or somewhere in Lebanon. Or do you remember the video where everybody ran into place and then they styled it out like they blew the cars up and they were all injured and stuff? Like, you saw these people like getting dropped off by a minibus, running, throwing themselves down on the floor, and then the bomb going off, and then the news stream started to film it as if it was legit. Well, that was the only proof I needed to know that it was fake news. Like, real talk. So yeah, it's like every day in every part of my life, I can't help but question the reality I live in, the so-called reality I live in. So yeah, that's kind of my journey to how I've got here. One thing I will mention is that Convex documentary. I'll be honest, I didn't watch it all. Probably about 15, 20 minutes into it, the music did my head in for a start. I couldn't take the music. I ended up turning it down, putting subtitles on, realized the subtitles weren't really quite getting what the people were saying, so turned it back up again. And I probably expected a lot more from it, if I'm being honest with you. I probably set my expectations a little bit too high. Having said that, there were some things in there where I said, oh, look, you know what, if that gets to some closed eyes people and wakes some people up enough for them to research it, then maybe it's a good thing. In fact, probably that is the only good thing that I can say could come out of that whole 7 years them lot had. Yeah, the only good thing is that maybe some people that wouldn't have taken the subject as credible may possibly take it as credible because of the kind of way they've set that documentary up. But then having said that, I've seen a lot better. I've seen a lot better of evidence that, maybe not evidence, maybe evidence is the wrong word to use. You have to bear with me because this is the first time I've done this, so I might seem like I'm rambling on a little bit. But the way they presented it, it seemed more, should we say, conservative? Like, I could see like a stuck-up upmarket person who has their foot firmly up their backside watching that and going, oh, yes, yeah, well, they do have a point, you know? Yeah. So, you know, where I live, there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of pompous people. And if that kind of falls into their suggestions on YouTube and they, you know, soiree with the brandy and watch it and kind of go, oh, yeah, you know, did you see that flat earth thing? I'd love to see that. I'd love to see someone mingling. But that's, you know, that's another thing I was going to get into as well. Activism ideas. I've got a ton. And maybe some of you are using these ideas already, but I've got some pretty kind of sneaky ways of like not coming across as a flat earther while trying to awaken people, because I've noticed that I lose their attention as soon as they go, oh, you're a flat earther. Like it's some kind of illness, like they want to back away from me, like I've got some kind of like airborne illness. It's quite worrying. So I had to kind of reverse the tactics and kind of use some kind of reverse psychology. But surprisingly enough, it works, honestly, people. Works every time. So I'll get to that. Some subjects for discussions. I was on Poncho Pete. Poncho Pete is his name. I was on that earlier on and they were looking at Google Earth images and stuff. And here we go again. So I was looking at, I maybe spent about 3 minutes on the channel watching their discussion and looking at it. But that's all it took for me to go, flat earth. I took my, don't know if you can see. Oops, sorry guys. I don't know if you can see my rubbish little phone here. Took this phone, not a lot of space on it, downloaded Google Earth. And I went, I know, I'm going to download it. I'm going to look at Antarctica and I'm going to look at all the images down there. And I'm going to go, okay, maybe there's more to that than meets the eye. Well, let me tell you how disappointed I was. First and foremost, you want to see the detail these guys on Poncho Pete were going into. Like they were showing me people's houses, people's solar panels. They had like the most deepest detail. I'm looking at Antarctica and I'm seeing these images sewn together. And right at the bottom of Antarctica, there's this little nothingness of like a black hole or something, just nothing, just this void of no information that they have. So you can clearly see that the images stitched together. You can clearly see that, like even to an undiscerning eye, even if I was to draw my 10-year-old son down here and say, son, does that look legit or not? Having said that, though, he's awake. He's clued up. He's at school, but he knows about stay real, stay flat. He knows about that. Both of the kids know about that. In fact, my daughter could give you some hilarious stories about how she has thrown down in class and put the teacher in a predicament where the teacher is left kind of thinking, could I possibly send her out of the classroom to get out of answering this? Like literally. She, what is it? Flat smacking. She's the queen of it. Brilliant. So yeah, I kind of lost train of where I was going there. So I'm just gonna, Google Earth, Poncho Pete. So I checked out Antarctica and there's like a few little blue dots where you can kind of go to Street View in Antarctica. You're thinking, okay, I'm gonna look, I'm gonna see stuff. Went to Street View and these random people like Bill, good old Bill, he's taken a picture of this one random spot and you can see it and it just kind of goes off into a haze of mist. No horizon. Even if there was a horizon, you probably wouldn't be able to see it because it's snow and it's sky. But it was the fact that it was like non-data. It went into digital world, like avatar world. Like, go check it out. Go look. Like, spread the truth on that. Spread the truth that is absolute BS. The whole 9 yards is BS. And I know people say, looking into Antarctica is long. This, that, and the other is long. That is the ultimate deception. The whole Antarctica, the pillars of the Antarctica theory, or the Antarctica show, or the Antarctica stage, whatever you want to call it, is to cover up the globe lie. Yeah? So in my mind, you knock the domino of Antarctica down and get full disclosure on that, everything else is going to follow with it. How can over 50 countries agree to not make money in that region? How can they all agree to not make money there? How is that possible? How can China and Russia and America all agree not to make dough in Antarctica, but they are like literally pissing up each other's backs and telling each other it's raining, signing checks with their ass mouth that their ass can't cash, all sorts of things. But they can all agree that no one do nothing down there unless it's like scientific. Like, the whole, it's just, mind-boggling. So that's something I wanted to get into. Excuse me if I don't pronounce this properly. I just need to have a sip of my drink. Sorry, I've got a dry throat now, so give me 1 second. Excuse me if I don't pronounce this properly. I wanna talk about accelerometers. I know I might sound like a little Sheldon from Big Bang Theory talking about this, but this is like more damning evidence. Do you know what? I probably don't need to do the whole nerdy prop thing. I was going to ask my daughter to go and get me one of her dad's spirit levels. But I'm assuming most people, could you? I'm assuming most people have got a spirit level at home. Maybe not. Maybe not. Accelerometers, that's something I wanted to go into. What else did I want to go into? There's something else I wanted to go into. But I'm going to go, while she's doing that, I'm going to go through some activism ideas for everybody. I'm hoping that these ideas are helpful. And if they are, good for you. Go and use them. So set up conversations. I know this sounds like what we say the governments do, right? The governments will set up things to persuade people, but I'm kind of using it in an innocent way. I'm kind of using it in a way where I kind of subliminally trick people into thinking that I'm sketchy, and I'm kind of sketchily thinking about looking into it, that I haven't fully looked into it there. That way they don't write me off. That way I still get airtime, because that's what it's all about, airtime. The person giving you the airtime to finish what you're saying. Because see, once they think you're a flat earther, the indoctrination has got them so bad that it's like there's some kind of cut-off switch in people's heads where they just go, switch, off to the next thing. It's been so disappointing. I was watching John Smith. I was watching him today for the first time ever. I think it's John Smith. And he was doing some on the street activism at the university, which I thought was like full ratings to him. Get to the younger kids, like try and get them before they're fully brainwashed. Okay, so a little mini spirit level. I'll get to that in a minute. This boy, he was like going back and forth with him for ages. And I was like so impressed at like the long-winded answers he was giving for things. I was like, props to him. And then like you could see the kind of change in his whole negative vibe. Like this kind of, I don't know. It's like he had the devil's look about him. He had this kind of, I thought he was looking like he was going to cry. And then I realized, no, you're just mad frustrated. Like you look like you want to punch him up. You slightly look like you just want to cut the conversation now. Then he tried to make some bogus excuse about I'm late for a lecture, but he wasn't late for a lecture 30 seconds ago before he thought man was a flat earther. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of lock off switch. So I set up conversations with my girlfriends so that we talk about it like, oh, we've just heard it. Like, so we style it out as if, say, we're not fully believing it ourselves, but did you hear such and such say this? And yeah, they told me to research that. And then we just drop names. Like I've even recently said, oh, have you seen that guy, Jamie Brown? Like he's proper onto the activism. Like it must be legit if people like that are doing it. Have you seen Beyond the Imaginary Curve? Like that guy's Operation Realness. Have you seen him? He's hardcore. He goes in. Like a couple of my friends showed me. And so when you say it like that, you make it sound like all interesting, and you clock people stop their conversations because they're all earwigging. Because that's what people do. They can't mind their own business. Too many people are on road watching face. So you use that to your advantage. If people are there watching you or trying to listen to what you're saying, start speaking about it. But don't try and, because see, if someone had done that to me, I'm not sure I would, even watching videos, it took me 8 months and I woke myself up. I woke myself up in the sense where I came across a video that was talking about flat earth. No one walked up to me and said, oh, do you know about flat earth? If they did, I would have thought they were nuts. So I kind of relate when people are looking at me as a saying, you're loony, mate. And they don't give you airtime. So that's one, setting up conversations. Another, I will give you an example. Okay, so I was at the hairdresser's the other day. And it was a different girl. My hairdresser, I don't have a regular one. It's just the hairdressers I go to, all those franchise ones. And it was a different girl doing my hair. And so as the hairdresser does, she makes polite conversation. And she was like, do you have kids? Yes, I've got kids. I've got a 15-year-old, I've got a 10-year-old. Oh, that's nice. What school does she go to? And bear in mind, I'm going to a hairdresser's that's local in my area. I will get to the chat in a minute and have a look at what everybody's saying. Jessica's going back and forth on the chat just now and having a look. But I'll just finish this story real quick. She started, have you got kids, blah, 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 what school? And so I mentioned the school. Bear in mind, it's local because I'm getting my hair done locally. And she goes, oh, I went to that school. And I was like, oh, that's nice. She's been doing a little apprenticeship, blah, blah, blah. She went to the same school as my daughters. And she was like, oh, I wonder if this teacher's there, that teacher's there. Cut a long story short, I gave her the airtime she wanted. And then when she gave me the opportunity, I said, it came out, freestyled it. I said to her, I said, my daughter came home the other day and she said the strangest thing to me. She was like, Mum, I don't think the Earth's round. I don't think we live on a globe. Like all the evidence is pointing towards it's a lie. I said, that's my 15-year-old daughter. She's an A-grade student. She's looking to become a barrister. Like my daughter's a 9, a straight 9. She gets 9s. That's what her predicted grades are. That's what she is. So these times I'm showing her my daughter's an A grader. She's obviously learned the system. She knows how to learn, repeat, give it back, get a good grade. It's like a game of Monopoly. She understands that. But at the same time, I had her attention because I'm telling her, look, my daughter's not a write-off. She's not, not a write-off in that sense. I'm talking about as far as this woman would perceive her to be, not how I would perceive her to be or anyone. But my daughter's genuinely on it. And then I pushed it again. I said, most of her friends are. I said, you would expect them to be talking about nightclubs, not where we live. I said, and I'm grown, And then she says, so what did your daughter say? I said, my daughter said some casual things to me, like, Mum, when was the first time you were shown a globe? And I kind of gave her a few questions that I've seen myself on these blogs. This girl was like hook, line, sinker. She was like, I'm going to have to check it out. But I didn't leave the conversation with her feeling like she'd just been sold an idea, if that makes sense. So I kind of used it to my advantage and kind of played the game in that sense. And more time I do finish my in-person conversations with Stay Real, Stay Flat. Sounds jammy, but see, when you repeat it enough times, people actually start going, why do you say that? Why do you say that? And I just go, research flat earth. I'm not here to preach to you. I'm not here to teach you. Go find out for yourself. But this world you're living in, I'm not watching Strictly Come Dancing. I'm not watching Big Brother. I'm not doing that. I'm out there seeking the truth. So that's just a couple. I didn't want to go further into that. I'll go more into that, but that's just a couple of activism ideas. Back to the spirit level. So spirit levels, this isn't gonna calibrate unless I put it onto a flat surface, right? Once I put it onto a flat surface, the bubble will go in the middle, yeah? So they've obviously taken these up in those 0G planes. Have any of you seen a video of how these work in 0G in those planes? I watched a video about accelerometers, which is basically, now I'm not like qualified to don't quote me, put it that way, don't quote me. But apparently, how we've got our compasses and our spirit levels. So apparently you can go into it, don't quote me, as I said, the accelerometer is like one of the part of one of them or both of them, or it's something to do with one of them anyway. Planes use them. All our mobile phones have them in them. All of them. Every single one of them. Well, the new ones anyway. Even my phone has one in. It's the technology that you use your compass with and your digital spirit level. It should be in your, hold on, let me just get it. It should be, I'm going to hold it up so you can see it, guys. It should be this thing here. Oh, don't know if you can, the thing with the white dots. So apparently the accelerometer is somewhere inside this phone, everyone's phone. And a few years ago, they put some kind of drones in the apparent ISS space station to test them out. And apparently the company that tested them out, they put a video out, and the testing went really successfully. The drones worked really, really well. And they were able to calibrate themselves. Now, the video, I'm not really in here to plug anyone, just in case anyone thinks that, but this particular video, I asked my daughter to look into my history on YouTube, and it happens to be a Globebusters video. However, you can use that information to then go off, which is what I did, and I then went and researched accelerometers and whatnot, and tried to find out what they use, what technology the accelerometer uses to calibrate itself. Remember that word, calibrate, yeah? It's like when you turn off your phone for a long time and restart it, and you go onto your compass and you go onto your spirit level, it will say to you, look, do that with your phone to calibrate it, because it needs to calibrate. And when you look into the technology for how that uses stuff to calibrate itself, it calibrates itself on a flat plane. It doesn't calibrate itself on a curve. The calculations it uses are on a flat plane. Now, up in the space station where they're supposed to be in space, right? These drones had Samsung S6 phones in them, and they were using accelerometers, and those phones calibrated up while they were in the space station. Now, this is where they can't have it both ways, right? The company that put the drones up into the space station said that they were able to calibrate themselves using Earth. They can't have it both ways. They literally can't. You can't have it both ways. So that, for me, I don't know if I can find the information for the video, but when you look into accelerometers, the technology that they use to calibrate all accelerometers, even the ones that are in apparent satellites and stuff that are supposed to be in low orbit, they would have to calibrate on a globe if we lived on a globe, and they don't. They calibrate on a flat plane, and they're up in wherever they are. So, yeah, that seemed to me pretty damning evidence of the globe lie, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm going to take a second now to just go through the chat. I don't know if anyone has anything they want me to talk about. I don't know. I don't even know if I can add anyone into this chat, or if anyone wants to come into this chat. I don't even know if it's the right kind of chat to do that. As I said, it's my first time doing this, so I'm not quite sure. Do you know? Do you have a clue?
I think that's a YouTube one, not the Google Hangouts.
So my daughter thinks that we've got to use the YouTube. We are using the YouTube one.
Yeah.
So we can't add anybody else, even if someone did want to come and talk.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so thank you, Rebecca. I just looked on the screen there. Thank you, darling. I really appreciate that. As I said, this is my first time, so you'll have to forgive me if I'm rambling. This is how much time I had, like 2 sheets of scribblings. That was all I had. I did want to go back to, real quick, to how I got here, just really quickly. Back in 2008, I was researching other things like government, 9/11, FEMA camps and whatnot. I then got onto kind of like red flag events, like shootings. And at that point, that was probably, to begin with, 2008. And if you can believe, on my journey, I'll be honest with you, in 2008, if you can go on my Facebook page, it's open. You can go all the way down to 2008, and you can see that I genuinely believed that there was a planet called Nibiru, and it was coming out from a 3,600-year elliptical orbit, and that's what restarted humanity. So I was like, woo, lost out there. I was way lost. In fact, so lost, there wasn't any map that could have got me back on a path. But amazingly enough, I then started to research 9/11. Some videos started to pop up that really kind of showed me, I think it was that World Trade Center 7 that came down. And I said, no, that was a controlled demolition. And then I'll be honest with you, I ended up on Alex Jones and he started talking about these FEMA camps. And what was that guy? Somebody Ventura. Oh, what was his name? The guy, Jesse Ventura. That was it. And he was like some conspiracy guy. And he was like, and I was like, wow, he's a credible kind of guy. Like he thinks there's something up. There must be something up. And Alex Jones, he was like really kind of like pumped. He was like really like there's some madness going down. And I'll be honest, he had me sold on the whole FEMA camps, depopulation. And I was like, why would they want to depopulate Earth? Why would they want to do that? But then, like I said, it leads you on somewhere else to somewhere else. And then before I know it, I'm looking at like shootings that might have been like an inside job. And because I bought into that, I said, okay, obviously false flag, government does it to themselves. I feel like our government's done it to ourselves as well. Have you noticed that? Do you know that double agent that died in New Malden? You know, 5 minutes away from my house. Like before that came out on the news, me and my partner drove past. We see the blue tents outside, and I was like, oh shit, the Russians are right again. And then on the news, the Russians. I personally believe that's an inside job. Our government's done a bookie move. We're throwing the ball to Russia. Putin's not having none of it. And to be honest with you, that kind of guy there, not the kind of guy I want to play around with. It's like if you equated that to road rage, it would be like smacking someone's car and then some Dolph Lundgren guy coming out and you going, not really sure. Your guns are bigger than mine, aren't they? Like Boris is on a mad one. Theresa, I don't even know. She's like Cruella. I don't even know what kind of people voted her in anyway. I'm not really buying into the whole government thing at the moment. So sorry if I just went off on one. I do that a lot, actually. I do that with my family. I ramble on and I just kind of go and give everyone an earful. Yeah, not really buying into that whole double agent thing and Russia thing. There's a whole, I think, election going on in Russia, and he's got that whole football thing going on there. And yeah, so yeah, I actually believe that's our government meddling about again, and we're trying to make out like it's something to do with them. But yeah, so back onto what I was saying. So FEMA camps, Alex Jones. Then I went from Alex Jones. I started kind of not buying into some of the things he was saying. And then one day I stumbled across RV's videos. And if I'm being honest with you, those videos there were the most credible videos that I've watched at that time. Those videos there had me from, if we call like state of awakenings, like alpha beta states, I was like in a deep freaking sleep, a real deep sleep. And like, by the time I reached Alex Jones, I was like alpha beta 5. I was way out of 9. I was like half awake. FEMA camps, psh, awake. Like shootings, psh, awake. 9/11, rah. Pentagon, rah. And then I was like a 5. And then RV took me to straight up, I'm awake. Wow, I'm awake. And PK, he just kind of affirmed it for me. He really did. The way they broke down and the crisis actors and the whole, I said, okay, the psyops are deep. This indoctrination's way deeper than I thought, way deeper. And then I started to think back to the IRA and when I was a little girl and like the Falkland War. And I just thought to myself, do you know what? There's so many hidden agendas. The lies are weaved so deep. We could be picking at it for generations and still not get there. But I hope in my lifetime to see it anyway. So yeah, for a solid good few years, I was watching RV and a little bit of Jeranism, was it? I watched a little bit of Eric Dubé, the 200 Proofs things, but if I'm being honest with you, his voice really jarred me. I don't know about anybody else, but like the way he talks, it's just so unnatural. Or it creeps me out. I don't like it anyway. And that's another thing. I can't deal with people that are too difficult to listen to. And I'll get onto that in a minute. Not any hate, no hate or anything. I'll just get onto that in a minute. Allegedly Dave, I saw that little documentary. If I'll be honest with you, it's that Allegedly Dave. My partner's Jamaican, and Allegedly Dave, he was like, right, that guy sounds credible. I'm awake. That was what did it for that guy doing that documentary. And NASA, NASA woke me up as well because I realized it was all images, composite images. There was no real images. So they had their hand to play in my awakening as well. Dumbasses shot themselves in the foot. And yeah, my own findings. So that was what really brings me to now. But I will give a massive credit to Jamie, because when I couldn't find RV anymore last year, I was like lost. It was like my whole, like every time things would happen on the news, I was getting my numerology calculator out and I literally was calling it at one point. I was like a good football score predictor. I was on my computer, I was going bang 33, bang 44, like a bingo caller. I was like on it. I was on it, like some people go betting shops and they can't come out. I was on it. So anyway, after months of not being able to, I was looking for videos of people that might know what happened to RV and people that might know where he went and whatnot. And then I stumbled across Jamie's channel. I'm looking at Flat Earth and I just saw live and I was just like, wow, someone's doing a live stream. Now, bear in mind, I'd not seen any other live streams at this point, and I consider myself a Flat Earther. So I hadn't seen Globebusters, I hadn't seen that Patricia Steer, I hadn't seen, who else was I going to say? Wait, hold on. Sun and Moon. I hadn't seen Rebecca. I hadn't seen Mel, Del, none of them. Anyway, so I've just gone on Jamie's, and I've got to commend you all. Like from one truth seeker to another, the people that were on Jamie's chat was so accommodating. I felt so welcome to be there. I had stage fright just being in a live chat in the first place, but feeling like I had a need to be involved. I've never felt such a strong need. And I do analogize it to like people having a need and a calling to church. Like when people say they're born again, I feel like I was born again to truth. I feel like and since then I've been called to it daily, like some, missionary. I equate us to the disciples that are going around trying to open up people's eyes, and despite the hurdles, despite the ridicule, despite the adversities, we just plow forth. Who the hell chooses to wake up and be ridiculed for what they believe? Like, oh, I know, I'm going to believe the earth's flat and everyone's going to take the piss out of me and this is going to be a real good laugh, isn't it? Great. Because see, once you've woken up, you can't go back to sleep. Oh my God, I can't go back to sleep. Do you know what? The days that I've just said to myself, it would just be easier if I could just feel like Men in Black and just go back to being asleep, because it's far less complicated than living like this. And that's why I said, no, do you know what? I'm not going to walk around in shame like I've got some dirty habit for seeking the truth. You can analogize so many of these to scriptures where people are made to feel bad for speaking the truth. Well, my partner was raised in a gospel church, and he always says, if you speak the truth, you'll make the devil shame. And I do see it in people's faces when you start speaking the truth. Their face starts going like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Total Recall, like it's going to split open. Like people cannot handle it. They can't handle it. I couldn't even handle it. When I first became awake, I could not handle it, not one bit. Like I said, I took 8 months going through it back and forth, and like secretly, not to my daughter, not to my partner, not to no one. I was doing it secretly. All the little time I had on my own, I was just like, come on, man, I've got to find something. And no, 8 months later, we don't live on a globe. I don't prescribe to know what we live on, but I know it's not a globe. And I know it's probably pretty flat, because and do you know what? Actually, that's another thing I was going to say. Google Earth. If you go and download Google Earth, see all the peninsulas almost at the Antarctic Circle. Some great panoramic shots where it's just a flat horizon, flat. Someone's down in the most southern part of Peru and they're literally looking out at the coast, and they've done a 360, and you can literally screenshot it, put it on a table, take a ruler to it, and or like I do, take a spirit level to it and just line it up to the line of the horizon, and then just go, oh, look, obviously on a flat surface, not holding it in the air, but do you know what I mean? So yeah. Right, back to stopping being rambling on. I don't know if anyone does want to do a live chat. If anyone does, you're more than welcome to. However, I'm not sure, A, I know how to do that. B, if I can even do that on this YouTube thing. So yeah, other than that, anyone's welcome to suggest anything they want me to talk about. I'm more than happy to chat away. Jess, is there anything you want me to mention? By the way, I'm not done I'm not done doing everyone's heads in yet. I've only literally just gone onto the tip of the iceberg. Anything? Anything you want to mention?
Antarctica was like the big one for me. Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna just look on the chat. I don't know if I can do on this, but I don't know how to do moderators and stuff and do the whole blue wrench thing. As I said, I've only been doing this for like literally 45 minutes. I've never done this before. So I'm not sure. But hopefully, oh, bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I do hope that this is inspiring other people to do this. Now that I'm sitting here, it like if you'd have seen me before I went live, oh my gosh, I took the dog for a walk. I tried to like calm my nerves and everything, but I do feel better for being on here and putting a face to a name.
Oh, you can moderate people because
Yeah?
you've got to hold it and then look.
Okay.
Then it's like
Okay. All right. So I think we're finding out how to do that. Thank you. Who
was it? Hold on.
Thank you for the great advice there. My daughter just picked up on that and she's done that. So in the next
Sierra, I think.
In the next like 5-10 minutes, basically what I'm going to do is everybody that I've had a good rapport with, really, ever since I started going on Jamie's channel, I'm just going to moderate those people that I know that are on point, that hold it down and like are in the squad. Hold on, one other thing I wanted to say as well is, does anyone know on this YouTube, can I add other people into the chat in case they wanted to go live and do what I see like Jamie do, or like Del do, or Rebecca? Do I see you do it, Rebecca? I think so. Go to the 3 dots is that there for the moderator?
Yeah.
3 dots at the side of the
Yeah. Yeah, look, I just literally just did it now.
Okay.
Look.
You invite people to your hangout. Can I, Rebecca, can I do that through YouTube? I'm wondering. Sorry to just ask people such random, you'd have to set up a Google Hangout. Okay, so I have set up a Google Hangout. That much I have done. We've got it there on another tab.
Yeah.
And so I can do a Google Hangout and then stream that through YouTube. Would there be a toggle on Google Hangout that would give me an option to link it to my YouTube?
No links, sent to emails. So some don't think you can do Hangouts, do you, for 100 subscribers?
Wow. Okay. Just don't you should be on a YouTube Hangout. I should be on a YouTube Hangout. All it says on my screen is YouTube Live. Was there an option for us to do YouTube Hangout?
No, we just pressed the live thing.
Yeah, I just pressed the live thing. It's always on a Google Hangout, but it gets hosted on YouTube, I think. Don't you just copy and paste thing? I don't know. Your Gmail will have Hangout running for your live stream. Yeah, because like I said, I'm like really, really new to this, so I really would like to get it right. Because for future and for this evening, because I've been running around all day and I really did want to be on here for quite a while, but I definitely did want to give other people to come on, give an opportunity for other people to come on. I need to download and install Hangouts for all of the control. Have we downloaded and installed Hangouts? No? No. So we haven't done that yet. Yeah. Oh gosh, this sounds like a minefield. I'll pick it up in time. Yeah, it's true. It's just my first time. I can send someone the link by email also.
Oh, yeah, you could.
The link for this. So let me just get this straight. So on this YouTube live stream is only able to live stream me. I'm not allowed to add anyone into this. Is that right? In the address bar at the top of the Hangout, Rebecca. In the address bar at the top of the, what's that?
Oh.
And what does that do? Okay. Copy and paste in email.
I think address bar.
Yeah.
I think so. It must be because.
Okay. Hold on. You can invite people when you're streaming the Hangout at the moment, thus it's just you, I think, on YouTube. Okay.
You've got your 3 more subscribers until you're at 100.
Okay, so do I give out my email? Because if I give out my email, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to give out my email. And then what do I do? Do I just email this link to someone? The link that's the address bar in the top. Yeah, the address bar at the top. Okay, no. Oh, crikey. No, I don't have anyone's email. Am I on Messenger? I don't think I am on Messenger because I downloaded the Google Earth. I am. Okay, so obviously this is going to take me a little bit more of a while to set up. So next time I come on, I think I'll come on through Google Hangouts once I've got enough subs or whatever it is. I'll be able to do that. When you have an email address to invite, you click on the invite bit on the Hangouts. Yeah, I think I'm getting a lot of advice, but I think I'm losing track of what advice is where. I've got some advice from Rebecca. I've got advice from you. I've got advice from a lot of people. Yeah. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do, I don't know if everyone's still up and whatnot. I'm going to go through this Google Hangouts thing, download it a little bit. We haven't downloaded it, have we?
Yeah, we'll download it. That's fine. Yeah.
We'll download it. And I'm either going to come back on in 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It should take us to possibly set it up.
It's been great.
Yeah. Do people have to add me on Hangouts? What am I on as Hangout? What am I on Hangouts? Am I me? As in on my name?
Yeah.
So yeah. Is that how people would find me? Or how would people find me on? Yeah, that's fine, Chris. I'm on Facebook. I don't have a problem with anyone adding me on Facebook. So yeah, I've got, do you know what? I've got like a trove of stuff to go through. Okay, my darling. Rebecca, if you private message me on Facebook, or I don't have Facebook Messenger. I don't have it on my laptop or my phone. I could probably get it though. Yeah. YouTube community messages. Oh, am I able to do that? Is that a thing? YouTube community messages? I don't know. Oh gosh, you can tell how inexperienced I am. In the background, my daughter's beavering away like some kind of production assistant. It's brilliant. If only I could have been like that at 15 years old. She's like that, beavering away. So yeah, I've got a ton of stuff I want to talk about. I want to talk about activism ideas. I definitely want to do a meetup / activism / peaceful protest vigil, whatever you want to call it. I definitely want to spread the awareness. I'm not really buying into any kind of tomfoolery or mockery. I feel passionately about spreading awareness of the deception. I know this is going to sound incredibly cliche. I don't want to sound... No, I've forgotten what I was going to say. I don't want to come across too cliche. I really don't. I'd rather Operation Realness. I feel so passionately about spreading awareness. And like I said, without being too cliche, I am careful about my wording. Every time I talk about the truth, I always bear in mind that may offend some people, because the truth to someone else might be a different point of view to mine. All I'm really trying to do at the moment personally is gather more damning evidence that the globe is a lie. I feel I have much more luck, possibly not luck. I feel I would have much more hope in finding more conclusive evidence that we don't live on a globe, and presenting that in a vigil, in a protest, in awareness. Not speculation. And I do think definitive damning proof that we have is far less than the speculation that we go into. But I do believe that hangouts like this, live streams like this, get it in wherever you can. And for me, I came out a long time ago. There's no going back for me. I came out to my friends and family a long time ago. I haven't got to the point where I'm banned for speaking about it. My nephews know I think the earth is flat. My brother knows I think the earth is flat. All my friends, family, colleagues, they all know I think the earth is flat. Okay, so my daughter just pointed out to me 100 subs now.
100 subscribers, Mum.
So does that mean I can do a hangout?
I think so.
Okay.
But you got
so what my daughter's like this in the background going, come on, let's do this. So I'm now going to try Google Hangouts time. So with that being said, if you all are free and available, I'd be most obliged if you'd come back to my Google Hangout. You are more than welcome to go and get yourself a refreshment, roll a cigarette, as I've already done. Smokers Unite, Tea and Weed Gang and all that. I am a smoker. Not gonna give any qualms about that. I wear my truth on my chest. I try and hide it. I don't think it's a dirty habit. I have aunties that have smoked it medically for decades. I have an auntie out in Hawaii that grows it on the side of a volcano and smokes it through an apple with no tobacco. Brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. In fact, both aunties did that, didn't they? They used the apple and then went and put it both ways, and it was all very cool. I also use CBD oil for pain relief and turmeric for anti-inflammatory, as I believe that inflammation is basically what illness and disease is, first and foremost. So yeah, that's really as complicated as my medical remit gets, as random as that was. So yeah, I've prepared myself, so I don't need to. I have a drink here and a cigarette right there. But if you guys want to prepare yourselves, I'm going to end this stream, but I'm not gone. I will be back in literally 10 minutes. And as soon as I have it set up, because I know when I look at Jamie's one, he's on a Hangout, and on his live YouTube thing, it will say, you know, Jamie starts in 30 minutes, or Jamie starts in, sorry to rinse your name a lot, Jamie. Like I'm like true fan, like you show me the way. What is that thing you say?
No, the way.
That's it. Jamie knows the way. Jamie definitely knows the way. Jamie's squad. So I am literally gonna come off this stream now, but what's the time now? It's like 10 past 11. So if you guys give me 15, 20 minutes, 11:30. I really do hope some of you are still around. I've got a shite load of stuff I want to go through and talk about. Not waffle.
Oh, that's
not
what
waffle.
It might be.
What?
That you don't have a Gmail. You only have a Hotmail.
Oh, really? Can I not do Hangouts with Hotmail? Aww.
I don't know, because earlier I tried to send you an invite and waited today.
Okay, so what's like the worst case scenario? So the worst case scenario is that maybe if I have to use a different email for Google Hangouts, I'll just give everybody but it will still be on my YouTube, right? So I'll just have to give out emails.
You can do it though, because you have a YouTube.
Do you have a Gmail?
Yeah.
So maybe we might have to use my daughter's Gmail. One way or the other, I'm coming back on, and I'm coming on Google Hangouts. I'm so getting this on my first time. Well, second time. This is my first time, so everyone can call this the practice run. I've settled in, I've got comfortable, and now I'm going full-fledged. I'm in it for the long haul, people. I'm going to go on Google Hangouts. So please do come back. Please do come back. And we'll pick up from where we left off. All right, guys? See you soon. Bye.